be back from the holiday. Had a nice 3-day break where we really got to send everybody home. They got to be with family. It's always nice to do that after the outcome against Missouri. The bragging rights game always falls that time of year. Looking back, I thought we did a lot of good things. I thought we did what we set out to truly accomplish in that game. One, win the Battle of the Glass. Secondly, take away three-point shooting from them. They hit 2 in transition and late, which was disappointing because it was just lack of communication. But down low, a very good shooting team, and we held them to 3 threes. And then I thought we made it. We saw Kylin Boswell absolutely at his best on the defensive side with his defending Robinson, taking him completely out of the game for the most part. So, I thought we were pretty solid defensively. I thought we did some good things offensively against multiple defenses, and we battled through a lot of foul trouble, which was encouraging. I thought Tomislav was exceptional in his time on the court. He punished switching, and then I thought that the job he and Merez did defensively, along with Kylin, along with everybody else on the glass, really exposed that part of the switching. So we got good looks. It was nice to see they played zone, and Ben got a free look at a 3. It was big, and then KJ got a big one down the stretch. So all in all, pretty pleased. It's a good basketball team. Great environment, kind of a Sweet 16, Elite 8 type environment there. And now we get Chicago State, who is much better than the record. A team that's only played a couple of home games all year. Got a lot of respect for their coach. Delonte Hill's on that staff, who I worked with at Kansas State, and that's a well-coached basketball team. They're doing a lot of really good things defensively, and we expect them to come in and be very solid on that end of the court. So we'll have to play well.
What have you thought about the Tommy and Merez minutes? We saw some more of that against Missouri. What works about it? What do you like about it?
Yeah, it's just, I think it's a mode we can go to. I think it's been really positive for us on the defensive side. I think that the one thing that Merez has done just an incredible job of is rebounding, and his knack of offensive rebounding helps Tommy. Tommy's pretty much been a double-double every night, and did that in 23 or 24 minutes the other night. So, it gives us a little different look. But Ben's still an elite spacer, a gravity guy, and is doing a lot of great things. So, we'll that'll be something we'll continue to see. And we've got. It was unfortunate we got a lot of them. We had both of them in foul trouble, so we probably didn't play that as much as we possibly could have in that game.
Kylin's almost at the point where he has as many free throw attempts and makes this year as he did in 2 seasons at Arizona. I mean, beyond just maybe he's talking about having more space to operate. What has maybe gone into getting him in that mode? Maybe?
It's like I say all the time. It's a perspective of how you look at offense, and if you want to look at his 2 for 12. You look at it and say, well, that's not a very good night. Now you look at how many points he had and how many assists he had, and you say, well, that's a really good night, and it's all because he got to the foul line. And the foul line's an incredible tool. And did he miss a couple that he normally is going to make? Yes. Is he going to get hot from the 3? Yes. But all of a sudden now that's an elite night to go with 9 rebounds and 5 assists or 6 assists, whatever he had. It's all because of his ability to get fouled and get to the free throw line. That's what the pros do. They have tough shooting nights, and all of a sudden they've got 30, and they look down and they're 14 to 14 from the free throw line, and so the perspective of that changes, and it's such a great tool. It's a great tool for him. It's a great weapon. He's big, strong. He's a violent driver downhill. He still has 1 or 2 or 3 possessions every game that drive me nuts, that I think he should get fouled on and or finish. But it's just a lot of work. It's a different mentality for him, and he's accepting that.
What did you think about how your team executed in the last couple of minutes of the ball game, being a tight game?
I think there was some good and there's some bad. I think that when you're up 10, I think we had 3 possessions. We committed fouls in the backcourt. KJ missed a layup, committed a foul 94 feet. Kylin got pushed and committed a foul on a rebound, and then KJ went for an offensive rebound and smacked the guy's hands. All 3 of those within the last 6 minutes of the game stopped the clock and parade them to the free throw line when they were having difficulties scoring. Those are things we have to continue to learn from. Instead of making that a 12 or 14, 15-point game, now with no time running, they're making it a game. And then we had 2 possessions in transition. We gave up threes, and we hadn't given up threes all night. And that's just a lack of communication. We had some different lineups in due to foul problems. That was part of it, but I'm going to stay. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Sorry. But there's no excuse for those kind of mistakes. But offensively, I thought we did some really good things. They stayed in the zone, which I was really happy to see. Against the zone, I know we're always going to get a good look. And Ben jumps up and knocks one down. Trey had a big basket. Kylin had one, attacking it off a little set we ran. And then they go man, and then KJ hit the fadeaway. So all in all, I was pretty pleased. I thought we did a lot of really good things, and a game that was juiced with a lot of energy. I thought we handled that pretty well.
We've seen teams put a lot of effort into trying to disrupt the ball screen stuff with KJ. How do you feel like you guys have handled that, and what's key to continuing to operate when that could be the plan of attack from an opponent?
Yeah, I think that early they were trying to blitz him. I think that good luck, especially with Tomislav, and I think that there was a point where we were up 32-9, I think, on the glass. And that's what happens when you start doing that and playing in rotation. And we have to continue to rebound the basketball at a high rate and punish that. I thought it was by far and away our best game against 5-way switching. We'll see that again tomorrow. Wouldn't be surprised if we see that against Oregon. But it's, Tommy took advantage of size disadvantages. KJ hit a couple buckets. Kylin drove it. We got to our next actions. That's where Will got one of his threes. So I thought we did a really good job of attacking that. And then the offensive glass has just been a home run for us against the 5-way switching.
Maybe the last 2 games, some foul trouble. What's been the value of maybe having to figure it out with maybe lineups you never, or at least didn't usually envision having out there?
Yeah, I think that's part of having good players, having depth. We mix them up every day in practice. I don't want to say we anticipate that happening. We hope it doesn't. But in a game that we had a high likelihood of that happening because of the way that they draw fouls. And I thought we did a great job. I thought that other than a free throw block out and then a Perkins tip in where we didn't block out, I thought we handled a lot of those situations pretty well. Offensively, we're interchangeable, so it's not going to bother us. Defensively, it's assignments where we've got to be dialed in. But I thought for the most part we were pretty good.
You've talked about Ben and rebounding, and he had 5 against Northwestern, but 1 in each of the last 3 games. I mean, is there something different he can do, or an approach, or just some change to maybe juice that number?
Yeah, I'm not worried about the number. I'm worried about the assignment of making sure that the other guy doesn't get it. I think that when it comes to, Bam probably doesn't get his 9 if Ben's not blocking out Mitchell. You know, there's a responsibility that we grade out every single game on your assignments, and there's a reason Ben's always one of the highest grades, and it's he doesn't necessarily get the rebound, but he makes sure his guy doesn't either, and you know, that's an art. That's why all the other guys have to go rebound. That's why our guards are getting as many rebounds as they are, and you know, especially when you see a physical specimen like Mitchell, just being in his ways, a big part of it. So I'm not worried about his number. You know, would I like to see it go up for his sake? Sure. But as long as the other guy's not getting him, he's doing a lot of good things there.
Just curious your thoughts on the last possession. You're up 3. Where do you fall on the foul or don't foul when you're defending that?
Yeah, I usually always foul. We were very concerned with our lineup in, because we didn't have Merez and we didn't have Tommy, about the foul get a rebound situation scenario. They are very good at it, at rebounding free throws. They've got a couple plays they run. We chose not to because they hadn't been making them. So it worked out for us, but I think most of the time normal lineups, having guys in there, I will foul in that situation.
What have you seen with Merez, just the process of leading up to the last performance he's had to get to that point where he's that productive?
Yeah, he's just done what a freshman should do. Learn, listen, keep it simple. He's not over, he's been way ahead of the system because he's a great communicator. I've talked about that at length. That's helped him defensively. He's getting to where he's elite in drop coverage, being able to play both, being able to guard. I think he had one mistake where he let a guy split him, but he's keeping the game very simple. He's not trying to do too much. He's just taking what the game gives him, and then he's just been relentless on the glass, and he's impacting basketball games, just keeping it very simple and playing really hard. And his athleticism, his physicality is impacting opponents. It's impacting us, and it's doing that on both ends.
I guess until you can talk the rest of the Big Ten into a full round robin, I mean, what do you try to get out of games like Sundays? You know, you mentioned the bye game.
Yeah, and I think that you know, you always try to find a little bit of a balance in your non-league. You know, I think there's been no doubt we've obviously tried to play some of those games regionally to help those teams in terms of there's no doubt there's a guarantee involved. But I also know that, you know, Chicago State's really well coached, and you know, that was a good basketball team. That was a basketball team last year that beat Northwestern. You know, it's a good team. So they've gone through a coaching change. I hope it's an opportunity for us to work on a few things after the break and refine. I hope it's mostly an important step for us is to take the momentum from the Missouri win and keep building on that. We still make too many mistakes. We have to eliminate those. We can't worry about who we play, whether it's league, non-league, bragging rights game, Arkansas, whoever. We have to go out and do our job. And that's our challenge every single game, is to get better every single day.